Welcome! Before I get into the video, I'd like to say sorry in advance if you hear any strange noises in the background. My dog is a little poorly and she's currently lying asleep next to me, so I'm trying to keep just a bit quiet for her. In this video, we'll be continuing where we left off at the end of meeting people of Olvia. Following the main narrative of the game requires us to travel to the Western Guard camp to speak with a guard called Jamie. We can view this destination on the map here. To get there, we simply follow the road out of Olvia to the east. I'm cutting across some of the plains here just to save a bit of time. On the way, we will pass through the Western Gateway, a bridge over the Balanos River which is frequently used by merchants and adventurers alike. Just a little way down the road from here, we come to the Western Guard camp. Here we meet Jamie, who tells us he is a little on edge due to the imps bothering him constantly. If we talk to him again, he asks if we're here to see the Captain Cliff. He informs us the captain is busy and will need to speak to Fania first, as that's the protocol. So, following our quest marker, we can head inside the camp and to the left to meet with her. We find her outside a tent. Talking to her, we find out that there's a large number of injured people in the camp, and that we shouldn't be too surprised not to receive a warm welcome, with everyone being so on edge. From her, we're directed to the supplies officer of the camp, Hessenvale. While we're here, we are expected to adhere to protocol and follow her instructions. So, obeying her, heading southeast through the camp, we can meet Hessenvale, who is outside a green tent close to a cooking pot over the fire. When she learns we're here to see the captain, she says we should be fine, because he's fond of adventurers. She also thanks us for coming to see her first before the captain. Finally, after following protocol and meeting all the necessary individuals, we can go and meet with the Captain Cliff, who is just around the corner in the large tent with the awning out front. He welcomes us and lets us know he's been rather busy. Unfortunately, he dismisses us after this point, so backing out of the conversation, we can try and see what our next objective is. But the Black Spirit appears. Huh? Did you hear that? I can feel a powerful energy from the south of the camp. The stone chamber I mentioned before should be right around here. I think there might be something very valuable, but it might be dangerous. Let's think about it, and if we decide to go, let's meet with Jarrett. So, with nothing better to do at this stage, we might as well investigate the stone chamber. That sounds pretty cool. So in the next tent over, we'll head to speak with Jarrett. Now you may remember her from Olvia. That's right, this is the same Jarrett. So we may see some other characters from Olvia close by here too. She asks if we're interested in the stone chamber. She explains the man she hired, Aiden, is taking too long, and she wants us to go and see what's keeping him. Our quest log now has an entry reading, Aiden, an explorer hired by Jarrett, is now examining the ancient stone chamber. Go to the stone chamber and meet Aiden. Checking the map, we see it as a short trek south, so heading out the southmost gateway of the camp, we can head to the chamber. Arriving at the entrance, we can head down a set of stairs and a ramp into a rectangular room. Immediately, we notice something a little strange. Human-like statues are strewn about the place in all kinds of positions. We can continue down further through a hole in the wall. At this level, we see two human statues and another kind of entity. Inspecting the statue, we notice its interesting outfit. Clothing in ancient times must have been quite different. The other human statue on the ground appears to be stepping back away from the other entity. Inspecting this entity, we see it as a relic, thought to be an ancient weapon. We can gain some knowledge here. Defensive weapons of the ancients. They are rounded in shape and specialize in defensive combat. Looking around the room some more, we can see a bunch of human skeletons trapped under the rubble. Whatever went on here must have been pretty catastrophic, and more horrifying now that we know that the human statues are most likely real people who have been turned to stone. Continuing down the ramp leads us to another large room with more statues and ancient weapons. Teams of researchers are inspecting these and going about their tasks. Passing through the room, we can go down a ramp with tunnel supports either side. Passing through another hole in the wall, we emerge in a long corridor with an elaborate ceiling design. Along the corridor, we see more of what we've seen so far. However, in the walls are oval-shaped indentations. Inspecting them a little closer, it may be where the ancient weapons may have gone when they were dormant or not actively guarding. Proceeding down the corridor, we see a giant ancient weapon that is pretty much wall height. It towers over the statues of two unfortunate people. Inspecting this giant statue will give us some more knowledge. A giant defensive weapon of the ancients, its surface is very hard and its attack is destructive. Proceeding past this brings us to the final chamber. Immediately we notice a large glowing cube in the center. Surrounding it are stone tablets in various states of disrepair. The people in the room we may recognize from the video on Olvia. They are Aiden, Orwin and Laffy Bedmountain. First, we'll talk with Aiden. He comments on Durette's persistence before telling us that we should leave as it may be dangerous here. Immediately after talking with him, the Black Spirit appears to us again and presses us to investigate the cube closer. You see the stone behind them? The stone is hiding something. It's not a pleasant aura, but it attracts me. Let's check out that stone. Moving to the artifact, we feel it emanating energy. Interestingly, the energy from the artifact and the Black Spirit are very similar. Touching the artifact, we can view a cutscene.
Aiden, look at this.
Huh? There's something wrong with the artifact. Is it because of this traveler here?
You are infected, possessed with dark energy.
But it's not awakened yet. So, tell us anything you might know about the black energy. You must rid yourself of all those visions.
Aiden, stop. He seems unstable.
Seems the black energy has consumed your memory. We should tell the shrine.
After the cutscene, we can talk to Aiden again. He explains that the Black Spirit has awakened and he knows what it is. He advises us not to get too close to it, or else there will be trouble later. However, he says we should take the time to learn from experiencing it, and that the experience will help us eventually. The artifact should have locked the Black Spirit inside, but it clearly didn't work as intended. Aiden surmises that because the artifact has been protecting the chamber so long, it ceased to function properly. One of the last things he says is that we'll meet him again, soon. Once we've talked to Aiden, the Black Spirit appears again, only this time it has teeth and looks a little more put together. The Black Spirit states that this is only the beginning and hints at things to come, saying that we can't even imagine what's ahead of us. The Black Spirit does say it has our back though, which is a little reassuring. Now, after talking to the Black Spirit, we can get some more knowledge by exploring the 5 stone tablets that surround the artifact in the center chamber. These murals depict the experience of the ancients. In the first mural, 2 versions of the same person, called Aidana, look at one another with swords brandished. An interpretation of this is that Aidana was the first of the ancients to overcome his ego, and it was thenceforth that he became the leader of the Kabuas. In the second, Aidana is holding his sword high, and the saints of the Kabuas are looking up at him exultingly. It is written that the black stones handed down by the Kabuas were both a source of disaster and bliss for these ancient people. The third implies that in addition to humans, Aidana also interacted harmoniously with the barbarians. It is said that he quickly became the guardian of the Black Stones and governed over their use. In the fourth, Aidana lies buried in a tomb beneath black stones. When Aidana the eternally young finally perished, the saints of the Caboose buried him under black stones and shed tears of sorrow to fill a lake. The fifth shows that Aidana wakes beneath the black stones, and the awe-filled Caboose stare without words. It is said that Aidana was resurrected from death to live an awakened life. However, his second death was eternal, and he was never to re-emerge. On the way back out of the stone chamber, we can also inspect some more stone tablets in one of the rooms to gain more knowledge. These are the murals thought to depict Ancient's prophecy. The first, judging by the symbol of Kron Castle displayed on the mural, the man wearing the crown is presumed to be Aegis III, who founded the castle. His attendant vassals are pictured bowing to him on an altar. In the second, Haedum, the god of darkness, is depicted in a scroll given to King Aegis III of Kron Castle by the original immortal alchemist. According to translations of the ancient language written below this depiction, one who is able to summon this Lord of the Dark will be bestowed great power. In the third, a summoning stone owned exclusively by the immortal alchemist is placed upon the Kron Castle altar in this mural. Similar to the second mural, this appears to be a prophecy of a ritual that will be performed to summon Haedum, the god of darkness. In the fourth is a burning Kron Castle, vassals jumping from the walls to escape, the immortal alchemist fleeing, and Aegis III nowhere to be found. This fourth mural seems to have been foretelling of the fall of Kron Castle, considering Aegis III perished in the explosion. And the last one is the only mural that depicts what comes after the Kron Castle explosion. It foretells an event that has not yet unfolded in history. It features a severely cracked Valian symbol hanging above fire. The engraved ancient script says, "Black Castle, let it end. In seclusion, black angels. Without anything in return, let us put all swords and shields to the fire and sever the chains at last." Now, with the ancient stone chamber thoroughly explored, we can head back to the Western Guard camp to explore it a bit more, but that will have to be done in the next episode of this series. There we will meet everyone properly and learn a little bit more about what is going on there. As always, thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this video and want to see more, please leave a like or subscribe, as that would really help me out. Thanks so much for joining me here today, and I hope to see you in the next one.